My name is Marcell Hanson, and you're listening to Small Habits, Big Changes. Let's dive in. Welcome to this week's episode where we talk about the single most thing that people are missing. It's the key to exponential growth in each and every individual. Now, I noticed when I started coaching folks about 22 years ago, two things were consistently showing up. One, the protocol that I created for wellness that I still practice. I started practicing then. It's called My Stable Table, that it truly applied to each and every individual that I encountered. More importantly, I think I discovered it then, but I have been rediscovering it, and to the point where now 2 decades later, it is beyond obvious, but most people and most practitioners, I think, are intentionally missing it. I'm going to share it with you today because there's no reason not to. It is so simple that most people overlook it, and they seek to find answers outside themselves. They seek to find testimonials that other people have provided that have proven success in whatever service or product they're looking for. This is short and sweet. The truth is, it doesn't matter what anyone else has experienced. I always think of this like going to the movies. Why people ask other people what they thought of the movie or why they read reviews of a movie. I have found over the years that things, whether they be movies, books, podcasts, interactions, I really don't care how anyone else has taken them or what they meant to someone else. To be honest, when I'm thinking of whether or not they're a fit for me, I don't really need anyone else's insight. I'll decide whether I like it. I'll decide whether it's a fit for me. And I encourage each of you to do something within that realm because there is no solution that suits everyone. There is no quick fix. There is no overnight success. There is not any of that. We are a very capitalistic society. Everything you see, books, products, services, webinars, things online nowadays versus on television in yesteryear, they are geared and marketed to sell to you a solution. Whether or not it is a solution for you, only you can tell. The last couple weeks, last month actually, 2 of our guests have mentioned their meditation practice. And it's been obvious to me how profound that practice has influenced their life for the better. We have another guest coming on next week, and I'm anticipating her sharing a similar story. Now, I'm not promoting meditation per se. What I do want and implore you all to look into is to be open and still in exploring your own answers. What fits for you? What suits you? What is, whether it's a vibration or a frequency or just a feeling of connectedness to something, go with it ethically with wellness in mind. It may not be a practice that you keep forever, but I am a firm believer in that if you get still and listen to that small voice within you, it will guide you on your next step. It may not be the end all be all. I didn't know whether or not acupuncture would work for me when I stepped into the first office visit back in 1999, right? Here, 25 years later, it is. It is still something I have practiced. It is something that really works for me. And I am not a fan of needles, and I never really thought much about it prior to the 90s, but I tried it. And I tried it again, and I tried it again. 1,000, really close to 1,000 sessions later, it is part of my personal protocol. I go every other week. It's one of the best naps I could pay for. And it's not just a nap, but it also provides a nap, which is great. And it's not a sales pitch or a promotion of acupuncture either. It could be a number of things. Massage was the same. When I was in college, I went to my first massage. It was in the early 90s. And I thought to myself, if I could afford this, if this is something that I could manage, I'd like to have this every week. And I did. I had a massage every Wednesday for about 3 years. And I have had times in my life since then that I have waned away from that, where it's been every month, where sometimes it's been a year. During the pandemic, I don't think I had a massage for a year and a half. And there have been little gaps here and there. But I currently and plan on continuing to have massage weekly. That's part of my personal protocol with what I do and with as physical as I am on the other days of the week, whether it be training or working out in the field or just with my normal everyday activity. I want that. And my body enjoys that. So it's part of my protocol. Doesn't mean it's the answer for everyone, but through trial and error and discovery and being curious about what could work for me, I found those two things and they have stuck for, 30 years, nearly. Massage 30 years anyway. Acupuncture about 25. There are a number of other things that have become a part of my practice of self-care, of mental, physical, emotional fitness. They have become part of my journey and part of my everyday practice. And I encourage each and every one of you to find what works for you. I've gone through years and years and years and years and years of journaling. I have dozens and dozens of chocked full journals, and I have journals that just have 1 or 2 pages written on them, and I have plenty of those too. I have gone through decades of writing down my goals and mileposts and things I'd like to manifest on a daily basis, multiple times a day. Years, probably 15, almost close to 20 years of daily writing it in the morning, in the evening, sometimes more than twice a day, but it's been a ritual for a long, long time. I've done Julia Cameron, I believe her name is, the morning pages. That's when I started in the mid 90s. Fantastic book, The Artist's Way, weekly dates. I've done the morning pages. I've done meditation, acupuncture, cranial sacral, Reiki, massage. I've done a lot of different things. And a lot of them have stuck. And a lot of them I conscientiously and intentionally build into my schedule to the degree that they work for me. And what my hope is for everyone listening is that you can sit still long enough to articulate, at least to yourself, what it is you truly want, what feelings that are associated with that, and then action that you can take to get you there. I've said this before multiple times on several different episodes, but it bears repeating because it really is how you can better yourself, be happier, healthier, not just survive this human experience, but really live and thrive and get the most out of it that you can and give the most into it that you can. It's a simple reminder this week because what I see is that people are longing for a quick fix, a solution that they can apply to their woes or challenges or aches and pains right now, apply it like a pill that they can pop and have a solution. It just doesn't work that way. And anyone telling you that it does is not being truthful. I sit before you 30 years into my wellness journey, having experienced a lot of really amazing things in my life, whether it be from self-care or travel or volunteering. And it is only probably the single most evident thing that I am reminded of when people are sharing their story is that everyone has a very distinct path. All of the experiences that have led you to this moment influence the moment to come, the moment that will be 15 minutes from now, that will be 2 days from now, that'll be 6 months from now. Whatever's been going on in your mind that you've been recreating for the last 6 months will come to fruition, for better, for worse. Maybe not this year, maybe next year. It's got a little lag in it, but you are living the reality right now of your thoughts 6 months ago, 12 months ago, 24 months ago, maybe 5 years ago? I know I am. I can look at my journals and see mileposts or goals that I wrote down that in order have transpired and have manifest. A lot of them have taken years to manifest. This podcast actually is one of them. I started my first podcast in 2013, 11 years ago, almost exactly 11 years ago. And it was early in the podcasting game. I had a lot of other things going on in my life that took priority, and from the outside might have looked like seemingly derailed my podcast efforts. But the truth is I made a choice to put it on the back burner because something else was more important to me. But it always kept like hot coals in my mind. It was smoldering, that it just needed to be re-stoked. Right. So, 2 years ago, it's been a little over 2 years, I reignited that flame. I always wanted to do it. It has been lingering, waiting, but I committed to doing it. And I have not missed a week. I have put out a new episode every week, with the exception of a couple revamped episodes that we worked on to re-release. But I have provided, we're on like episode 78, I think. It's just the beginning. I feel like it'll be, 10 years, probably at least a good 5 years before I can assess, what value, if any, you're receiving from listening. We do, analyze the analytics, and it's curious. I'm always curious about who is listening and from where, and if you're getting anything from the podcast. I trust in the universe that at whatever time, whether this is being listened to today, when it drops, which is in a few days from now, or whether it's being listened to 6 months or 6 years down the line, hopefully it's being listened to 25 years after it's been dropped. Whenever is right for you to hear a message, I believe that you will hear it. And today, the message for those who are on the path, who are wanting more, if it's your time to hear the message, this is it. It's up to you to figure out what works for you. No one else can do that for you. Yes, certain coaches, certain mentors, certain guides, and some very few friends can help along the way, but not help by giving you answers, but help by maybe asking you questions, asking you what you want, what you really, really want, what feelings you want to experience each and every day, what action you can take to lay the tracks for such experiences to happen. And if you have no one in your life, no mentor, no guide, no coach, no dear friend that's able to ask you those questions, then hit the back button and listen again. It may just start with one time of you journaling out those questions and really thinking about the answer. Maybe you take 6 months to respond to those questions in a journal each and every day and see what comes up. Maybe you write down your dreams or what you thought about in the night, first thing in the morning, and something comes from that. Maybe you take an hour off just for yourself one day a week, maybe on the weekend, where you just sit and write a stream of consciousness, just to let out whatever's in your head be out. Maybe you go to a float house, a deprivation chamber. Maybe you go to Reiki. Maybe you go to acupuncture or massage. Maybe you go to the park and you sit and you watch birds or squirrels play. Maybe you go to the seaside, watch the ocean waves. Maybe you climb a tree. I can tell you that it's probably going to start with something that you're not already doing. If you feel like you're stuck, then give yourself a little bump out of that rut and try something new, whether you think it will be revolutionary or not. If you're open to the experience, just the fact that it's crossed your path and that you take it on reinforces to the universe, to the powers that be, to the frequency, to the vibration that you want to proceed, that you want to accelerate, that you want to optimize your experience here. It may just lead you to your next right step. I hope this has sparked something in you. If you've enjoyed this short episode, if you got any gold from it, anybody, your friends, your family members who might also enjoy it, please give a share. If you are on YouTube, feel free to leave a comment down below, or you can join our texting community. That number's on the outro. It's 206-483-2960. You can text the word yes, and you get a weekly wellness tip, and you also can send messages privately there, and I do respond to those personally. So I appreciate your time and your lending an ear. I hope you've enjoyed the episode. Definitely come back and check us out next week. We'll have another entrepreneur who has found real gold in meditation, and not so much the traditional meditation, but her twist is making it very fun and accessible to not only those around her, but the world at large. So I hope you come back and enjoy her story. And until then, stay strong, stay curious, be awesome. Thank you so much for listening today. If you feel any part of this episode resonated with you, then please consider sharing it with a friend who may also find value in it. And remember to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And before you go, did you know we have a fantastic free text community? If you want more bite-sized health hacks and reminders delivered directly to your phone, absolutely free, then text keyword yes to 206-483-2960. Again, that's keyword yes to 206-483-2960. And we'll see you on the inside.